3. Animism, Tool of Survival. In the previous segments, I discussed how religions are great stories that convince people about the mysteries of life. Just like good software, religion also developed the concept of God, a perfect being as a creator, protector, and ruler. Since humans are flawed, God offered us a perfect model, a goal, a destination to aim towards because nature is aimless. But religion has not just been a fancy story with a fancy God, it has been actually a practical tool for our survival. So in this segment, I'll discuss animism, religions that helped us navigate the treacherous journey of life by giving us psychological moral support when all else fails. Today we ask science to solve our problems, but for our early ancestors, they relied on spirits and energy. So animism is our first attempt to harnessing the energy of nature to keep us going. To understand early religions, let me give you two modern references. First, the German philosopher Friedrich Nietzsche based his philosophy as a celebration of life. He argued that religions like Christianity were knee-deep in its celebration of the afterlife that didn't care about this life. For Nietzsche, even Western philosophy did not celebrate life, but instead intellectualized life with reason. How boring is that? To celebrate life, Nietzsche argued that one must celebrate both reason and passion. Reason gives you foresight, and passion gives you heart to take on immense challenges. So why is Nietzsche relevant? The answer is very simple. Early human religions celebrated life because life was pretty short and precarious, and we couldn't just give up. We had to be heroic and passionate to survive. Second, in physics, the first law of thermodynamics states that energy cannot be created and cannot be destroyed, but it can be channeled. Early humans understood that there was hidden energy out there. They called it spirit, often found in certain animals, objects like trees, rocks, mountains, waterfalls, and even certain humans. Since early humans lived a nomadic lifestyle as hunter-gatherers, always on the search for some food and shelter, the uncertainty and the unpredictability of survival meant that you relied on good luck to find the next meal or an empty cave. Good luck was celebrated as divine message. Therefore, rituals were created. So early humans developed rituals which we consider superstitious today, connecting certain actions like bowing to a tree, circling a rock, clapping your hands, tying a rope, etc. to good outcomes in your search for food and good fortune or good energy and power. Even today, we do these actions before an important interview, date, or sporting events, which is remnant of our early human ancestors. The earliest religions in the world are animistic. Animism has the same root as the words animal, anime, animate, which means life or spirit. Even to this day, we make distinction between the body and the soul, or the physical being and the spiritual being. So it goes back to our early human forebears who saw a mysterious spirit to be working like some dark energy that ruled over living beings and the universe. This spirit or energy never died, while the physical body decayed and died. Today we call it energy, which powers modernity. Without energy, the modern world would collapse within days. So, animism is a way our natural biological body is speaking to us. We humans use our intellect to understand the world, but getting to know reality also happens through other channels, the body itself. Sometimes you hear people say, "I felt the energy." While this is not scientifically proven, there are many incidents of people reporting certain energy or visceral experience which is hard to describe. It's like science doesn't know what dark energy is right now. Since we are from nature, nature has to communicate to us through the body as well as the mind. While the mind uses language to describe experience a bit more precisely, most of our experiences in life are through the body. The body, however, is a bit vaguer, clumsier, and less precise to intellectualize and verbalize. For example, paganism, like all animistic religions, is the belief that we are one and the same with nature. It's our intellect that separates us from nature. But in reality, we are as natural entities as animals, trees, and rocks. Today, science has proved that our body is made up of natural elements like oxygen, carbon, hydrogen, nitrogen. And no surprise that these elements also make most of the world. Later religions like Christianity put humans separate from nature, which helped us in some way, but also distanced us from nature, which caused us separation anxiety. According to the German psychologist Erich Fromm, our anxiety is because of our separation from nature, which happened thousands of years ago, which resulted in us creating religions and gods to console ourselves. According to Fromm, our second separation happened in modernity. Now, not only we separate from ourselves from nature, but also we separate from other people. So, according to animism, all phenomena, living beings and non-living beings like rock and mountains, have spirit. We can get this spirit to help us if we perform certain actions and rituals. What differentiates animism from other religions is that it is more practical for our survival, therefore relies on rituals and less on ideas and concepts. So our earlier ancestors, to survive in the harsh reality of life, you couldn't rely on beliefs alone. You had to go out there and perform, act, and do things. How to find food, mates, raise children, defend yourself against others, and conquer the world. According to the Ainu belief in northern Japan, the body is simply a container where the spirits reside. Our spirit is more like life energy, which allows us to work, and when we run out or run low on this life energy, or when we anger gods, we must pray, sing a song, make offerings, and conduct ceremonies to bring the spirit or energy back to us so we survive and look after our family. To understand animism, Japan is a perfect case study where people follow two distinct and almost contradictory religions, Shintoism and Buddhism. Shintoism originated in Japan, literally means the way of God, is an animistic religion and solely focused on the celebration of this life. Buddhists, on the other hand, almost avoid life and cannot wait to liberate themselves from life. Shintoism believes in winning in this life, while Buddhism believes in losing in this life so you can win in the afterlife. Shinto is about conquering the world, and Buddhism is about conquering the self. Shintoism is ritualistic and action-oriented, while Buddhism is about concept and inaction like meditation. So Shintoism, like many other animistic religions, prioritizes this life, how to survive it, and of course how to conquer it. It had a major influence in modernization of Japan later in its imperialistic wars in the Pacific Ocean, as it emphasizes winning, action, problem-solving, etc. Just as Protestantism helped Northern Europeans to embrace capitalism, Shintoism helped Japan to do the same. When Japan ended its 200 years of isolation and started modernizing in the 1860s and 70s, it also adopted Shintoism as a state religion to promote Japanese nationalism, with the emperor being given the kami or god status, but most importantly to promote industrialization. Buddhists don't believe in being industrious for material gains. One of the most important rituals in Shintoism is the purification ritual called Harai. And to this day, Japan is one of the cleanest countries in the world. And this is also why Shinto priests do not deal with funerals. So interestingly, in Japan, funerals are entirely left to the Buddhists. So there's a saying, the Japanese are born Shinto, but they die Buddhist. In other words, when you're young and full of energy, you want to conquer this world when you're Shinto. And once you get old and frail, you turn into Buddhist so you can conquer yourself and deal with the afterlife. So early human religion was a means of solving practical problems of survival. In the same way, when you're young, you're hungry for success in this life. Animism believes that everything has a spirit or energy, which we can channel it towards us through donations, rituals, sacrifices, and prayers. Since this spirit is immortal, it lives on after we die, and this helps those who come after us. So animism is basically felt religion, something you feel with your own bone in your body. It's not reliant on too much on your intellectual capacity, but more on your physiological necessity of survival and communication through your body. It's like when you hear music, we cannot intellectualize that sensation, but music hits a chord deep inside us. Today, animism lives inside all of us through certain superstitions we hold. A certain item of clothes or a certain ritual helps us deal with uncertain events in our lives, like an important date, a job interview, or even our favorite sports winning in their next match. So despite centuries of progress in scientific education, we still hold animistic beliefs. So early human religions were tools of survival. Therefore, they didn't focus on afterlife. Instead, they focused on rituals and actions, not so much thoughts and concepts, because abstract ideas like afterlife couldn't feed your empty stomach. And early animistic religions didn't separate humans from nature, but saw it as one thing. Just as modernity runs on electricity, early animistic religions believed in energy or spirits running the world. Today, if we remove electricity, the modern world becomes paralyzed. So one could argue that even our early ancestors were looking forward to the day when energy could be harvested as effectively as it is done today. In the next segment, I'll discuss how animistic religions communicated with the dead through shamanism and offered blood sacrifice to appease the hungry gods.